Welcome to another exciting episode of The Vampire Priest. I am Father Antonio Rivera, and today we will discuss the manosphere. While giving a TED Talk to candidates at Pre-Cana, Pre-Cana is a 6-month course and meeting that people who are going to be married in the Holy Catholic and Apostolic Church go through. It's a process where they learn about marriage and they learn about what it means to be married and how their lives should be revolving around Christ and through the church. I was asked about the manosphere. We're going to try to make this as simple and as basic as possible. As complex as the manosphere is, everything could be broken down to simple and basic theories and discussions, or just facts. And from there, the complex builds. So there is something called the manosphere. And the manosphere, think of it as a planet or a globe. And in this globe, this planet, it's all about men issues, men topics, hearts, wants, desires. Anything that has to deal with a man, from a man's biology and his chromosomes, to his height, to his job profession. This is what the manosphere discusses. Even interest, religion, and politics. And it's all from a man's point of view, or how it affects a man, or how men affect the world around him. So it is very easy to go from being a devout Catholic on Sunday to being a Star Wars fan Sunday afternoon, because these are all things that affect men. And even having a nice cold beer with some friends Sunday evening, because this is all part of the manosphere. Now, in the manosphere, if you're looking at the manosphere as a globe, as a planet, in the manosphere there's going to be certain continents. Like here we have North America, South America, Asia, Asia Minor. In the manosphere, the continents would be red pill, blue pill, purple pill, and black pill. And these are very specific to relationships and interactions. While the red pill, blue pill does have its origins in the original Matrix, the blue pill is seeing the world as it is, not what it really is, but the surface level, how it's being portrayed through media, through movies, through TV. A very one-dimensional version of our planet and the men's role in it. Whereas the red pill is to see the layers underneath it, the cogs working in the machine, and to see how the man's role in everyday life is really affected and what the world really thinks about men. Here's some examples. The blue pill is what you would call the typical nice guy. And every man has suffered from this until they've been red pilled. The typical nice guy will do anything for his lady. And these pills are very specific. They go to, like every good story, there's a love story behind it. Everything that we see from the Bible, it's all about a love story. There's a beautiful woman involved to our everyday life. So the blue pill would be the typical nice guy. He's going to do everything that he can as a man, as a father, as a husband, to be what he thinks the woman will want him to be, giving up everything, being selfless, which are inherently good qualities and things that all men really deep down desire. The problem is that that's not always the reality, and it causes, or let me rephrase that, it doesn't cause this. The effects of such a blue pill reality means that the guy does not really understand his place in the world. While yes, he is a good father and he is providing, he is a good husband, a boyfriend, or fiance, or just a good son. Excuse me, we got a refrigerator that wants to chime in. The reality is that the world around him sees him differently. While he's a good husband, part of being a good husband is being viewed as a provider, paying most of the bills. Even though he's working 40, 80 hours a week, coming home and sharing the responsibilities of the home almost on an equal basis. So more is asked of him, including the protection of the family, which in itself is not an inherently bad thing. What becomes bad is when he is viewed exclusively as an ATM machine or as a shield for the family, meaning he is supposed to lay down his life for the family and he is never appreciated. And this leads us into the red pill. The red pill movement is an understanding of the man's role in life, which is very different than the way he is perceived or the way he might even see life. Again, the blue pill is he's seen everything is great. Life is wonderful. We got Legos. He has a job. He's able to provide for those that he loves. However, the red pill is a more realization. And we see this more evident in the American family court. As an American citizen, I can only speak about the American way of life. North America, specifically the continental United States of America, or what is commonly referred to as part of the Western world. And in this Western world, we see the realization of what men really are. Our men are demanded to lay down their lives for a nation, for people who really do not appreciate us. Going to war, being police officers, firefighters, while these are all noble professions, a soldier, a cop, a firefighter, it is expected of men. If something is happening outside, it's expected of men to drop whatever they're doing, forsake their own families, and get involved. And in the red pill community, we see this most evident in divorce courts and family courts, where the man is taken through the courts. Even here in the year 2023, where there's equal opportunity for everyone. And more women are joining the workforce and statistically are making a little bit more money than men. If you're bringing it down per capita, it seems like men are doing it more, bringing in more money, but that's because men take less sick days and they ask for a raise. And there's a whole slew of these things, but we're not going to get into those specifics because we want to make this a quick video. And the red pill community is more seeing what men really are. And if you're looking at it from the court point of view, men are nothing more than wallets. If you're looking at social media, men are nothing more than wallets. Well, let me rephrase that. We're accessories to women these days, here in the United States in the modern world. You have to be a certain height, uh, social status in order to be with a woman. And even then, it's not a guarantee that she's going to be faithful to you or stick around or really want anything to do with you romantically. It's all about the status that you bring her. And this is where the red pill community comes in. All right, so you have the red pill, which is the reality of how we are viewed as a society. I have to mention as a society because individuals are very different. But if you take all of that collective individuality and you bring them together, you will have a collective. It's just the way averages work. The blue pill is an idealized version of what men should be. This is usually the Disney version, the white knight hero savior. And more of these white knight hero saviors are turning to the red pill community because, I mean, for lack of a better term, these men are becoming screwed over emotionally, psychologically, physically, and through the courts. The red pill community realizes how society, in large, as a collective, and in general, meaning 51% or more, view men, which is a disposable extra. Men can be easily replaced. We see that with dating apps, that men are often replaced very quickly, and through the court system, where men just don't matter. And this leads us to the purple pill, which is another continent in this globe we know as the manosphere. The purple pill is a combination of the two. I would say this is more of a healthier balance between the blue pill and the red pill, and more men fall under this category. And here's why. The instinctive nature of men to protect and to provide has not diminished, nor has it been taken away since our creation in the Garden of Eden. We see this through Adam. Unfortunately, he failed in his job, which leads us to Christ. Again, I am Catholic of the Latin Rite, so I can only really speak about Christianity as a whole, or Catholicism in a very specific aspect. So we have this aspect, or this dimension of the human nature for men, to protect and to provide, which is part of the idealism that is of the blue pill community. However, in the red pill community, it is viewed as a weakness or traits that men have to be exploited. The purple pill is a balance between the two. And I do believe that religious communities have a very good balance and healthy balance between the two. Only because the objective truth that you can find in religion or through faith will allow you to balance the two. A good, strong, faithful, holy man, a man who loves Christ with all his heart, will be able to lead his family and will be able to find a wife who will allow him to lead his family. Whereas we also understand that there is an ideology in the world that will lead you to view those things as probably weak or to be exploited. And let's face it, men in general, we love being chivalrous. That is something that is acknowledged and encouraged in the blue pill community. the chivalrous nature of men. Men who are religious tend to have a better balance because we can see both sides. And we're walking that fine line between the red and the blue pill, hence the purple pill. We can live in the vision that society has created for men while indulging in the reality of how society treats men. We know our place. I would say, if you're looking at this from a political point of view, the purple community would be more conservatism. There seems to be a lot of religious people in the conservative movement, or centrist. If you're not religious, I think in that community, I know a lot of people who are centrist, who are not religious, and they're neither Democrat nor Republican, and they vote for whomever has the best policies. I think that'll be a better understanding of the two. And now this leads us to the most extreme case. And the most extreme case will be the black pill. Again, if the manosphere is a planet, the black pill would be Mordor, or Mustafar, or Exegol, or the Romulan Star Empire. I mean, let's face it, I'm not a big fan of the Romulans. The lady Romulans are cute though, but I don't like them. I prefer the Kardashians. You know what? Let's skip on this. We're just gonna move over that and keep going. So the black pill are what we would refer to as the far end of the pill spectrum, and those are the ones who have nothing to do with women at all. Again, the pill really is about relationships. From how men are viewed in relationships ideally to how we're really viewed, the balance between the two, and now the far extreme where men have been screwed so well, so often, and so hard legally. Again, this goes back to the court systems and the data that is coming out of there, as well as personally, that men just don't want anything to do with women anymore. And not only that, but they view relationships and women as a whole as something evil and to be avoided at all costs. And this is an extreme that a lot of men have been pushed to. And when you're raked over the coals in family court, your kids are taken away, your house, and you have to pay for a house that your ex-wife is living in with another man, and that other man is able to spend hours and days with your children. When you cannot, you're reduced to a 20-minute phone call a week, if you're even that lucky. Yeah, you can see from that point of view why men will be turning away. And this is where the whole community of the black pill is coming from. That there is no inherent value in society as a whole, women specifically, and the creation of a society. So those are the major pills. There's the four pills. You have the blue pill. We talked about that, the idealism. The red pill, which is the reality. The purple pill, which is finding the balance between those two. And then you have the black pill, which is the far extremist that just done. But there is one other aspect of the manosphere that's it's kind of somewhere in between the black pill and the red pill, which is called MGTOW. or men going their own way. Men going their own way, or MGTOW, it's really men just being done with the nonsense. And it's not everybody is evil, everything is bad. It's, I just don't want to deal with this. I'm going to go live in my van down by the river, fish all day, and just be happy. I'm not going to get involved in relationships, romantic relationships, but they're keeping open friendships, other males, uh, pets, especially dogs, because let's face it, they tend to be more loyal than humans, which is why a dog is a man's best friend. And part of MGTOW, the black pill community and the red pill community understand fully that if a dog is a man's best friend, then it's true that diamonds are a girl's best friend, meaning that a man is only there to provide the one service, which is to make her look good. That's the social status. And to bring finances, which is the wallet. But men going their own way is just guys being free. They're open to relationships. They'll date. They'll engage in coitus. But they're not hopeful. They're pretty much just waiting in the sidelines or building their own community until laws are changed. And the MGTOW community, from my experience and talking to other gentlemen and reading about it, is that the MGTOW community is all about men going their own way until laws are changed. The same laws that caused the black pill community to exist, which is for men to have equal rights under the law. You can go to any state where there's divorce, and divorce is allowed. And even if it's a false state, the men are still getting raked over the coals. And the men have to go out of their way to prove that they are a better fit for the child. Even though statistically, here in the United States, we know that a single father does the same job as a healthy married couple. I believe it's 80% of the time. Might be a little bit more than that, 80 to 86%. Whereas a woman raising a child on her own, a single mom, is approximately 15 to 20% of the time as healthy as two parents living in the same household or engaged in a loving and committed relationship. So you see that the dynamics are turned upside down. The MGTOW community is, if you want men back in society, treat us with respect. Treat us with respect, with dignity, and we'll come back. But until those laws are changed, there's no point in men taking part in society because we are only disposable extras. So there is a little bit of hope that things will change. Unfortunately, with the MGTOW community, in order for those changes to occur, you'll have to see the pendulum swing on feminism, whereas the women who want men back in society will actually have to make these changes and demand these changes, which we really don't see. I've been to family court numerous times, and I don't see a lot of women saying, hey, we want to be treated just like men in court. No, they don't. Last but not least, we have the Passport Bros. The Passport Bros is a group of men who want to be husbands and fathers, who want to have a family, but they know they can't have that here in the United States. The reason why they can't have that here in the United States is because the laws in the United States protect the women, which is why I always say get a prenup as well as a postnup. As a Catholic, shouldn't be saying that, especially one who really does believe in the traditional values and traditional marriage. Because if you have a prenup, you won't be able to get married in a church unless it's a prenup revolving around a business and a family business. Um, and that's because you're protecting the business itself, not your own personal assets or finances or income, because that's supposed to be all shared. But I always recommend getting both. They should be the same language, just once before consummation and one after, just so that you're both in it together, and that if your spouse, so if you're a man watching this, your wife, or if you're a woman watching this, your husband won't be able to come back later on and say, I wasn't in the right mind. I was forced into signing this. You wanted the marriage, you got it. There's no force into it. If you want out, you take what you brought with you. Very simple. But going back into it, the passport bros, they want all of this. They know they can't find it here in the United States. I mean, let's face it, the women in the United States, especially the younger generation, are asking more of men, or at least the same from men that has been asked for us for the past 60 years that's been recorded and documented, while providing less. You know, they don't clean, they don't cook, they don't sew, they have a bunch of deal breakers, and before getting married, they have been sexually intimate with numerous partners. So, but they want the same provisions that men have been providing for decades, at least recorded here in the United States. So these passport bros are ones who they want that life, but they don't want to deal with the evolution of what it means to be a woman here in the United States. It's not that we can't handle women. It's just that we don't want to deal with it. Huge difference. So these passport bros they're actually moving to different countries, finding a spouse and raising a family there, where those women have not been influenced or altered or changed to be like the type of woman that you'll find in the Western world, here in the United States, where if they did engage in coitus, it's one or two men, not 20 or more, that they do want to have a family. A lot of women today, they will say they don't know if they want children, or they don't know if they want to get married, or they're not going to. A lot of the women in the United States, we are a nation who loves food. It's very gluttonous. It's all about me, all about now. Whereas in other countries, more and more women take care of themselves a lot better. I know this might offend a lot of people, but this is what the reality of what the whole passport bros is. And they're gonna find someone or a woman who understands what it means to be married and what commitment means. It's not always about love. Love comes and goes. But if the two of you are on this journey together and you have the commitment to guide you, that love always comes back. You have a plan together. Whereas that's not always the case here in the United States. Whereas the United States is all about the emotion of love. And if she doesn't have the tingles, the relationship is over. And again, more is being demanded of the guy than what is being brought to him. That energy is not being matched. It tends to be one-sided. Well, I hope this explains the manosphere. I try to make it as quick as possible. I'm sorry that it dragged out longer than I intended it to. I did need to choose my words carefully, so as I'm not banned or red flagged, and try to be as calm as possible so as to convey the point. It would not be productive to become emotional or to badmouth communities, whether it's from the manosphere or women in general or the women in the United States. Again, when we're speaking about the manosphere, we are speaking, the manosphere itself is all made up of individuals and individual men because it's all about their lives, how they are viewed and how they view the world around them, but also in generalities. We're talking about statistical data. We're talking about just in general 51% or more. So there's no need to add not all men or not all women, because as intellectuals we need to understand that when we're talking about groups of people, we are talking about in generalities. I hope you found this insightful. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. You have yourself a good, blessed, and holy day.